Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you something, brother. Crown Jewel was a complete waste of everybody's fucking time. A complete joke. A complete embarrassment. Oh my God, man. I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin with this shit. I guess I could start off with the obvious. Can we all just sit down and agree that even though at his age, Shawn Michaels looks fucking fantastic? I mean, I still can't get used to him not having hair, and I wish somebody would donate a wig or put him through the WWE 2K19 community creations to give him fucking hair. But Shawn Michaels, outside of the fact that I will probably never get used to him without hair, for his age looked absolutely fantastic to a point where he carried most of that match. And in fact, he had to. He had no choice but to carry that match. Triple H definitely got hurt in that match. He hurt his shoulder, I'm assuming, because everything that Triple H tried to do, shoulder related, it just looked absolutely fucking terrible. He couldn't even lift his opponent's arms while trying to apply the pedigree. So I don't know how Triple H even managed to finish that match after what had happened, but Shawn Michaels is the key here, man. Shawn Michaels looked fucking great for his age. Kip ups, elbow drops off the top rope. The guy even did a fucking moonsault in which he nearly killed himself in the process. Shawn Michaels, absolutely at this point, if WWE is going to milk his return, I'm confident in Shawn Michaels actually coming back to have several more one-off matches. B, with The Undertaker looking great as well. I don't want to take anything away from The Undertaker. The Undertaker ran the ropes pretty well. I think he is built enough right now, current state, where we could get another match out of these two and it could be fucking great. I am completely down for a one-on-one match with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at Survivor Series if WWE wants to go that route. I am totally down. They blew me away with how great that they were moving. Shawn Michaels blew me away with how great he was moving. You know, you take Shawn Michaels and you take Kurt Angle. Completely two polar opposites, man. Shawn Michaels, I'd pay money to go sit and watch wrestle, even now at his age. Kurt Angle, completely different story. I would not pay a single fucking dime to watch Kurt Angle wrestle, man. He moved way too slow for my liking, and he should not be in a wrestling ring at all wrestling a one-on-one match. The only way you're going to get Kurt Angle, and the most out of Kurt Angle right now in his current state, is with a match like you've seen at WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon. That's it. But we'll talk about the World Cup, that embarrassment of a fucking tournament for WWE here tonight in a little bit. But Shawn Michaels looked absolutely fantastic. I am all on board for a one-on-one match with him and The Undertaker. Brock Lesnar is the other big story here. Brock Lesnar won the Universal Championship from vacant. There was no champion. Roman Reigns gave it up. Roman Reigns is off to battle leukemia, and there was no champion on Monday Night Raw. Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar had to go into Crown Jewel, into Saudi Arabia, and crown a new Universal Champion. Now, I knew that WWE was probably going to go with the safe bet here in Brock Lesnar. I knew that they were going to, I guess, sail familiar seas with Brock Lesnar. Braun Strowman, in my honest opinion here, is dead. Braun Strowman is dead. And I hear people uttering on social media now, and they're booking WrestleMania. Oh, it's going to be Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Spare me. Save it. I'm done. Braun Strowman is not the guy. Braun Strowman clearly is not the guy in the eyes of WWE. Otherwise, they would have given him the championship tonight. There's no reason why Brock Lesnar should be the Universal Champion. Again. There's no reason why the Universal Championship should be off Monday Night Raw. Again. And we're reliving the same fucking mistakes. They are making the same mistakes that they made all 400, 500 days of this guy's last title reign. Look at what they did. Roman gives up the title. They go right back and give it to Brock Lesnar. Braun Strowman is dead. I don't want to hear another fucking thing about Braun Strowman. And this is all WWE's fault. This is all they're doing. When you had a guy last year, this time, who was going one-on-one with Brock Lesnar, that was the moment to give him the Universal Championship. But WWE didn't do it. For whatever reason, they didn't pull the trigger. He was organic. He was over as fuck. He was the most liked, most must-see guy on that show. We all genuinely wanted to see Braun Strowman succeed in WWE, and they didn't do it. Month after month after month, they stalled, and they kept it on Brock Lesnar because they did it for one reason and one reason only, to push their Roman agenda. And I don't want to hear it from a single fucking person. The only reason why WWE didn't pull the trigger was because of Roman Reigns. They had a plan in mind. They wanted to try and get Roman over. It didn't work. It failed. And we all knew it would, but WWE wants to think that they're right in everything that they do. They were wrong. They don't capitalize on moments that need to be capitalized upon. That was one of them. Soon as that happened, and WWE started to push the Roman agenda all those months, then they turned Braun Strowman heel for Roman Reigns. They take everything that the guy has done, and everything that Raw and the writers on that show fed us with Braun Strowman, building him up as unstoppable, wasted it. They gave him Money in the Bank, wasted it. That could have went to another storyline. That could have went to someone else who would have been better off with it. They wasted it, turned him heel. He failed to cash in. And now here we are. And the general feeling with Braun Strowman is that he is nothing more than a fucking sideshow freak on Monday Night Raw that raises his hands in the air and destroys shit. That's all he is. That's all he is to me. He's not must-see. I don't want to see him as the Universal Champion. I don't want him to win the Royal Rumble. I don't want him to go to WrestleMania and be in the main event and beat Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. I don't care. This is 2 times now that he's failed against Brock Lesnar. A 3rd time is absolutely fucking useless. Useless. I'm done. Braun Strowman, the best thing with Braun Strowman right now is to ship him off to Smackdown Live, because the guy is absolutely fucking directionless on Monday Night Raw. Done. I don't want to hear another fucking Braun Strowman mark in the community. He's done. And you can blame WWE for that. You can blame them putting all their eggs in the Roman basket. Done. Brock Lesnar's the safe bet. Brock Lesnar's making all this types of money. So WWE, for some reason, has money signs when they look at Brock Lesnar. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar as the Universal Champion just as much as you guys don't want to see it. But he's the only one that makes fucking sense. The only one that makes sense right now. Raw and the main event scene on Raw is completely fucking embarrassing. Embarrassing to a point that Monday Night Raw now is much worse than they were already. And I don't even know how the fuck that's possible. There is positives that come out of this, though. There is positives that come out of this. I've been telling you guys, and, you know, some of you guys didn't agree with me. I was never going to be interested in a Braun Strowman versus AJ Styles match at Survivor Series. Never. I would have never been interested in that match on any day, any card, any month. I would have never been interested in that match. Those two, you could look at the pair. You could fucking smell it. They would have not been a good pairing. So now with Brock Lesnar as the Universal Champion, and it's already been announced, we're getting AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar Part 2 at the Survivor Series. And there is a lot of good that comes out of that. One, it was one of the best matches, if not the best main roster match of 2017, one-on-one. So if they're going to go into Survivor Series again this year, they have backstory, they have history, and it makes sense. Now, on top of that, AJ and his title reign really hasn't been all that spectacular. They want to brag about how he's the 9th longest reigning WWE champion in history. That means nothing to me. You got to look at within the title reign, how much substance is in that title reign. He really hasn't done anything outside of Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe. So as far as title reigns go, it's pretty lukewarm if you ask me. So if AJ and Brock Lesnar are going at it again in a second match at Survivor Series, then we're going to book AJ Styles to win the match at Survivor Series. He needs a big win in this title reign. Brock Lesnar does not need a win over AJ Styles again. He doesn't. Brock Lesnar right now is only the Universal Champion because they are paving the way for Drew McIntyre. That's what you're doing with Brock Lesnar, and I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw review. I mentioned this all week. Brock Lesnar is only the Universal Champion right now, A, to get the better match out of AJ Styles at Survivor Series, because you have to book with Survivor Series in mind, and B, they're paving the way for Drew McIntyre. Wouldn't you think it would be beneficial for Drew McIntyre to beat Brock Lesnar with a fucking Claymore kick out of nowhere and beat him in impressive fashion? What do you think that would do for Drew McIntyre's stock? You gotta start thinking about what's to come. Lesnar was the only one that made sense. You give it to Lesnar, and there's more positive to come out of a Lesnar title reign now, short term, than giving it to Braun Strowman and have him be an absolute fucking afterthought on Monday Night Raw. It would have been a too little, too late situation with Braun Strowman. That match ended up exactly the way it should have been. They booked it the way it should have been. Everybody's laughing and fucking having a grand old time, laughing about how WWE is just going back to the same old shit. People need to start thinking about the positives that are coming out of this situation. Yes, it's downright fucking embarrassing, but WWE is looking at a little bit more positive here with Lesnar as champion short term. As long as it stays short term. I don't need this guy fucking holding the championship going into WrestleMania. But right now, short term, it's better off for WWE in the long run. Plus, isn't UFC at Madison Square Garden tomorrow night? Isn't Daniel Cormier fighting Derek Lewis? I would be very, very, I would say, not surprised. I would not be surprised at all to see Brock Lesnar in the crowd confront Daniel Cormier with the Universal Championship. Daniel Cormier beats Derek Lewis, and we have some nice little cross promotion there. Maybe that's what WWE was thinking here. Maybe that's what they had in mind all along. Who knows? But right now, Brock Lesnar is the right choice for the Universal Championship. Braun Strowman is absolutely fucking dead in the water. The guy is like Samoa Joe. He will never win a championship on the main roster. I don't see it right now anyway for the foreseeable future. Send him off to SmackDown Live. There is nothing left for him on Monday Night Raw. I am not even interested in a point right now to see him feud with Baron Corbin, who played a factor into this match, or Drew McIntyre. I don't give a shit. 4 F5s, and that was it. 1, 2, 3, Brock Lesnar wins the Universal Championship. So that was the other big thing on this show. The most embarrassing thing on this show was the World Cup tournament. Now, I wasn't expecting a 1993 King of the Ring fucking classic here, but I expected WWE to put forth effort because all I heard for the last fucking week, and even more so tonight, was that they were going to crown the best in the world, okay? Now, that's a pretty hefty fucking, I guess hashtag that they're going with here, best in the world. First of all, it's not the best in the world. It can't possibly be the best in the world when you guys have, an aging Kurt Angle in the tournament, Bobby Lashley, The Miz. I mean, it's a fucking joke. It really is a fucking joke. So I was trying to look at whatever positives there could be in this tournament. So right out of the gate, I was not excited about this thing because WWE just bragged about, we're going to crown the best in the world here, okay? Now, my original pick was A, either Randy Orton, or B, The Miz. I figured someone from SmackDown Live was going to win it because WWE threw the wrinkle of, if a SmackDown Live superstar doesn't win, then they no longer have a home on SmackDown Live. They'll be fired. So we got Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio in the first round, and The Miz versus Jeff Hardy on SmackDown side. Randy Orton, we'll go over the results in a bit. Randy Orton lost here, which, again, I don't really agree with Randy Orton losing after what's been going on with Randy Orton on SmackDown Live. I find that to be a little ridiculous. Randy Orton should not be booked to lose anything after what he's been doing on SmackDown Live. But they actually tried to correct what the terrible booking here showed us. WWE had Randy Orton attack Rey Mysterio after the match, and Randy Orton looked to leave Rey Mysterio without a second round match. I thought they were going to brutalize him to a point where he don't even show up and he has one match and that's his fucking payday. That's what I would have did. But WWE let Rey Mysterio go into the second round against The Miz, and I don't know why. I would have booked this entire thing with The Miz having the Bam Bam Bigelow effect. He don't even wrestle in the second round. He goes straight to the finals in 1993, right? Bigelow beat Duggan. Bigelow was supposed to meet Tatanka or Lex Luger in the second round. They went to a 15-minute draw. One of the best King of the Ring matches that you'll ever see. Tatanka versus Luger. I fucking watched that shit over and over and over again, man. Unbelievable. Bigelow goes to the finals because they went to a draw, and he's fresh as a daisy. That's what happened, or that's what should have happened here with The Miz. The Miz should have went right into the finals. Randy Orton should have brutalized Rey Mysterio to a point where he was going to fucking rip his mask off. They didn't do any of that. It was a very lukewarm attack here by Randy Orton. An RKO, you threw him into the announce table, and then you walk away. So Randy Orton lost here. So Rey Mysterio is going into the semifinals here with apparent injuries. So The Miz beats Jeff Hardy in a garbage match, throwaway match. I don't even know why we even bothered. The Miz wins there. He goes on to fight Rey Mysterio. Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley. Another throwaway match. If you blinked, it was over. Same thing with all these fucking first-round matches. Now, this tournament was supposed to be the best in the world, right? Now, I understand that WWE might have had time constraints, but they really didn't have time constraints when they're on the fucking network. So why couldn't we get a little bit more epic feel to this tournament? You know, you want to brag about, how we're going to find out the best in the fucking world. First-round matches are ending in 5 minutes. Not exactly what I look at when I think of a tournament to crown the best in the world. Now, I don't give a shit about Bobby Lashley, but the fact that Bobby Lashley lost to Seth Rollins in 5 minutes, I mean, the guy's fucking doomed. The guy is absolutely fucking doomed. I don't give a shit. So, Seth Rollins beat Bobby Lashley with the curb stomp. That was it. And then we had Kurt Angle versus Dolph Ziggler. Kurt Angle looked gassed in 5 minutes. So I'm glad that he didn't go to the second round. I actually had predicted this entire tournament wrong. I had Kurt Angle and Seth Rollins in the semifinals, and then I had The Miz versus, I guess, nobody. You know? It would have either been Rey Mysterio getting a DQ win over Randy Orton, but we had Rey Mysterio beat Randy Orton. Clean. So, everything that I had predicted, and everything that a lot of people predicted with this tournament was completely fucking fucked up. It was all gone. So, we had Rollins and Lashley. That was quick. Angle and Ziggler. You know, Angle moved slow, but he looked okay. He looked okay to a point where, you know, it got the job done in this tournament, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I want to see another one-on-one match with fucking Kurt Angle. I don't. I'm not going to pay money to see fucking Kurt Angle wrestle again. Only if it's in the way in which they did it at WrestleMania this year, in a mixed tag team match or a tag team match environment. He absolutely does not need to be in the ring anymore. The guy looked like he was turning blue. He was so gassed. And he's just not cutting it anymore. I think Kurt Angle needs to hang up the boots soon. Soon. Like tonight. Soon. He's done. So, Ziggler beats Angle. That's a nice feather in the cap of Dolph Ziggler that he's got a win over Kurt Angle on his resume. Maybe a 50-year-old fucking aging, broken down Kurt Angle, but it's Kurt Angle nonetheless. So, we got Ziggler and Rollins in the second round. So, they clearly went with two workhorses here on Monday Night Raw's side, and that was probably the best match of the entire tournament. So, Ziggler beats Rollins and advances to the finals of the tournament. Now, I was actually shocked at this because I had picked Seth Rollins to be in the finals, and maybe Dean Ambrose kind of just continue the storyline where he's fucking over Seth Rollins, but Dean Ambrose didn't even show up at all. I knew he flew to Saudi Arabia. I knew he was there. He was backstage, as was Drew McIntyre, but Dean Ambrose didn't play a factor into anything Seth Rollins related tonight. So we got Dolph Ziggler, which is unpredictable in itself, against The Miz, which is unpredictable in itself, in the finals of the World Cup tournament. Now, I was actually excited about this, A, because it was unpredictable. WWE kind of, threw it in everybody's face. Well, you want to book and think you know what's going on. So we're going to turn everything upside down, and we're going to give you an unpredictable tournament. So at this point, even though the tournament was very lame and lazy, I felt like WWE did a good job up until this point to make it unpredictable. We got two heels in the finals. We got The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. Now, these two are no strangers to one another either. These guys had probably the best feud of all 2016 on SmackDown Live, when SmackDown Live was in its glory days, when SmackDown Live was actually being booked correctly and in an epic way. The Miz and Dolph Ziggler fought over the Intercontinental Championship, which actually breathed new life into SmackDown Live right after the draft that year. They held that show together on their backs. Fantastic stuff. Probably the best matches of either man's career. That feud right there in 2016. So, I was actually looking forward to seeing what these two guys could do over the World Cup. I wanted to see a blow-away fucking World Cup match between these two guys that was actually going to live up to the moniker of best in the world. What do we get? I figured we were going to get The Miz winning. It would make sense if The Miz won. The Miz could win, call himself the best in the world. It would fit his character. He would be an annoying prick on Smackdown Live. He could even vouch that he deserves to be number one contender for the WWE Championship. What do we get? We don't even get the bell to ring yet. He's injured. He hurt his leg on the outside. Shane McMahon and Baron Corbin are there waiting to award the winner the trophy because it's SmackDown versus Raw. Shane McMahon goes over to The Miz, who's frantically saying, I can go, I've never been injured before. So they played up that fact, because I know The Miz has been doing this for 11 years, and he bragged to Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan called him safe, remember? That The Miz has never been injured in his 11 years. So Shane McMahon comes over and says, no, we're not going to end it this way. They were about to award the trophy to Dolph Ziggler, so Shane McMahon went over to the announcer and said, no, we're not going to end this shit. We're not going to end this shit at all. So he interjects in this decision. He bypasses the referee's decision and puts himself in the match with Dolph Ziggler to crown the best in the world. Now, we're all thinking, oh my God, what the fuck is going on here? Is this really going to happen? Is this really going to be an instance where WWE gives the best in the world moniker and the trophy, which is probably fucking useless and worthless, you could probably find it on a shelf at Target for $1.99, the best in the world moniker to a fucking McMahon? I'll give you one guess as to what they did. They gave the best in the world moniker to a McMahon. Shane McMahon won the finals of the best in the world, and he won the trophy, and he won the WWE World Cup tournament. Now I know there's some people in the community that are looking at this and they're fucking thrilled and they're happy just because it triggers us people who have fucking common logic and want to see WWE do right. But WWE doesn't do right. I can't tell you how many fucking wrongs are with this situation. Like, why the fuck would you book a World Cup tournament to crown the best in the world and then give Shane McMahon the fucking title of best in the world? He wins the World Cup. Would you see this shit booked in NXT? Would you see this shit booked anywhere else outside WWE? The WWE completely shit on every fucking person who competed in this tournament. Every fucking person that flew to Saudi Arabia to compete in this World Cup, and they gave it to fucking Shane McMahon. They shit on everybody who was not in the tournament, like Finn Balor and everybody like that. They shit on everybody else that's a professional wrestler around the globe. They shit on a Kenny Omega. They shit on a Cody Rhodes. They shit on a fucking Kazuchika Okada. They shit on a Marty Scurll, a Will Ospreay. They shit on every fucking person who is a professional wrestler. They shit and took a nice steaming dump on the term professional wrestler with this situation here tonight. It was a downright fucking joke. A downright joke. I don't know if there is anyone, and if you are, you're a complete fucking blithering idiot that agrees with this decision. Seriously. This is fucking embarrassing. You've wasted all of our afternoons. You've wasted every fucking build, every hype for this tournament that ever existed, and you completely shit on everybody with Shane McMahon winning this tournament. I don't even know what else to say. I really don't. All I know is that this needs to be rectified. If this is a serious thing, and if WWE is going to have this thing annually here, okay, then WWE needs to fix this. It either gets defended at Survivor Series, and the trophy goes to either brand. Maybe the 5-on-5 match is going to be battled over with the trophy on the line. I don't know. But this needs to be rectified. I don't even know what to say here. I don't even know what to say. The WWE truly spit in the face of everybody with Shane McMahon, a McMahon, being called best in the world. They don't do anything for the sake of doing anything logically. They don't book this show with wrestling in the heart. They don't. They book this show, they book their shows, And it's a common theme now, which is fucking disgusting. They book their shows with trolling in mind. They did this to troll. They did this to get a reaction from everybody, and that's exactly what they accomplished. That is the wrong way to go about it. If you think this is a good decision, you're a fucking idiot. Seriously. I take my fucking tournaments seriously. And this is what they do? This is what they do. Now, I was on the phone with my best friend. My best friend, Pete. Pete, if you're watching, I told you I was going to shout you out, bro. He mentioned something that actually makes a lot of fucking sense. And I would not be shocked if this is the reason why they gave it to Shane McMahon. What if John Cena and Daniel Bryan are not the only ones who complained about going to Saudi Arabia? What if everybody in this tournament didn't want to fucking be there? Yet they were being placed in a tournament and hyped in a tournament that they didn't want to compete in. Maybe they did it as punishment for everybody that complained and pretty much were like, well, you guys want to bitch and moan about being here and the paychecks that you're fucking getting, nice and handsome, these paychecks are. If you don't want to be here, fuck you. We're going to give it to Shane McMahon because Shane wants to be here and you don't. Imagine that's the fucking reason that they gave it to Shane McMahon. Instead of giving it to somebody like Dolph Ziggler or Seth Rollins or The Miz. How does everybody else feel? Being in this tournament, wasting their afternoon away. Who gives a shit? They made all the money that they needed. Right? Complete garbage. Complete fucking garbage. This company, I swear to God, World Wrestling Entertainment? No, it's world's worst entertainment. They don't book with wrestling in the heart. They book for social media presence. They book for likes. They book for fucking retweets. They don't book for fucking pro wrestling in the heart, man. They book to troll, and they book in a way in which they fucking hate their audience, bro. I am telling you, this company is the absolute most embarrassing wrestling company on the face of the planet. And they deserve everything negative that is coming their way. Everything. And they won't change because they just made $50 million from this show alone. Bullshit. A complete fucking embarrassment. This entire world. I don't want to hear the name World Cup ever again. You're going to do it next year? Fuck your World Cup. Because you had a first time. First time to do it, right? The first impression is everything. You think I want to see another fucking tournament next year after the first fucking winner is Shane McMahon? Go fuck yourself. World Cup my ass. Fuck out of here with this fucking shit. I take my wrestling serious, man. This is a fucking sport to me. When I see them joke around and give me fucking garbage like they did tonight, fuck you. Yet everybody, there'll be people in the community that love to see the reactions of everybody who actually loves their wrestling, right? Then you don't love wrestling in itself anyway. You're a fucking ass. You're a troll. This could have been, this is my frustration with this fucking company. They have all the assets, all the fucking, the assets at their fucking fingertips to make their product the best in the fucking world, legitimately, and they don't do it. They don't do it. This is why I get frustrated with them. Instead of using the fucking talent that they have and using the resources that they have, they use it to fucking say fuck you to the audience. Done. Complete fucking garbage. This entire show was a complete waste of everybody's fucking time. At that point, I was done. At that point, I was done. I don't know what else I could say about this show. They didn't mention where they were. For all I know, they were in fucking... They were in Greenland. They were in fucking Iceland. They were in fucking Australia. What's the fucking difference? Right? What's the difference? I see who's in the crowd. I don't know where the fuck they are. They didn't mention Saudi Arabia. It's as if WWE said, fuck you, and they make these shows as bad as possible, so maybe that the prince says, oh, this is not a WWE production. What am I getting here? You know? Maybe they're booking these shows in a way in which they hope the prince says, fuck this shit. I don't even want a fucking 10-year deal anymore. The deal is severed. You know? If I'm the fucking crown prince and I see this shit, the deal's severed right there. Fuck you. Shane McMahon winning a World Cup. Fuck out of here. I don't know where they were. They didn't mention anything. The set looked great. They made it into a big fucking production. 24,000 people, 25,000 people. It was the biggest, smallest stadium I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. Everything looked great. Aesthetically, it looked great. The set looked great. The fireworks looked great. They made it into a WrestleMania-esque spectacle. Then we get the fucking card that we got. We get the results that we get. I don't know what else to say, man. I really don't know what else to say. Completely wasted 3.5 hours of my afternoon. Show started off with Hulk Hogan. Actually, let me go back. There was a pre-show. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev. I actually very much enjoyed this match. I think they work very well together. Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, they made you believe that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to lose the title, but, you know, that would have been... I would have not been surprised if WWE took the title off of Shinsuke Nakamura, the U.S. title. But we all know that Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins is the money match at Survivor Series, so why the fuck would you jeopardize that? WWE would probably jeopardize that because they don't know any fucking better. Oh, you want a dream match with Rollins and Nakamura? Go fuck yourself. We're not going to give it to you. We're going to give you Rusev versus Seth Rollins. So, WWE had the opportunity here to put the title on Rusev, and they made it very believable as Rusev had Shinsuke Nakamura in the accolade. Nakamura was in the accolade for quite some time. He works his way out of it, and it looked almost picture perfect, like poetry in motion. Nakamura tried to get up to a vertical base, and on his way getting up to his feet, he headbutts. He's getting out of the accolade. Just picture. He's getting out of the accolade, trying to slide through Rusev's legs, and then he gets up, trying to get back to a vertical base, and he headbutts Rusev in the balls. So the referee didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know, everybody made it look like it was just an accident. Then they show a shot of Nakamura, and he's fucking smiling. It's fucking great. This was a great ending. Delivers the Kinshasa, retains the title. We got Rollins and Nakamura at Survivor Series. There you go. Good shit, man. It was fucking good shit. Rusev, told you, he's dead. Put him in the Braun Strowman category. The guy is fucking dead. They give him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and they don't do it. Another guy that they failed opportunity on. Guy should have been multi-time tag team champion with Aiden English. What the fuck did they do? They broke them up. Then they want us to care about Rusev out of nowhere. They broke them up, and now Rusev Day pretty much should be taken off the fucking calendar completely. I don't want to celebrate Rusev Day. I used to. Now I don't. Shinsuke Nakamura retains the U.S. title on the pre-show. It was the only match on the pre-show. The show opened up with Hulk Hogan coming back. This was the only time that we seen him on the actual show. This is the opening to the show, and I'm going to play this right now, live audio here, of Hulk Hogan making his return to WWE to kick off Crown Jewel, or what we should be calling fucking Clown Jewel, or Crown Fool. Either one of them works. Here you go. Here's the fucking clown prince himself, Hulk Hogan.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
You
know something, maniacs? It feels so good to be out here in front of the whole WWE universe and to be out here with all my stark Raven Hulkamaniacs, brother. But you know what even feels better is after I climbed on that huge jumbo 747 jet, flew halfway across the world and landed here, I found out that the power of Hulkamania and the power of my Hulkamaniacs was stronger than ever right here at the Crown Jewel, Jack. It's great to see you guys. It's awesome to be here back in the WWE. It's unbelievable to be your host tonight. And guess what, maniacs? The show starts right now. So what you gonna do when the power of Hulkamania and the Crown Jewel run wild on you, brother?
The Immortal One.
Oh my God. Cover my ears, man.
What a way to
Cover
start
my
off
ears.
that.
I can't stand listening to Real American, bro. I made this comment on Twitter. When I was growing up watching WWF back in the day, man, and I heard fucking Real American with that fucking guitar solo at the end come in, and that shit ended every pay-per-view, I was sick to my stomach even as a young boy watching this shit, man. I couldn't stand listening to that shit, and every fucking pay-per-view that me and my dad and my family used to sit down and watch together. I was an Ultimate Warrior guy. So when Hogan wasn't there, I didn't really give a shit about the fact that he wasn't there. I was always against Hulk Hogan. When The Undertaker beat him, I was with The Undertaker. When Yokozuna beat him, I was with Yokozuna. And then he shows up in WCW, and then he turns heel, and then all of a sudden I'm a Hulk Hogan fan. he was much better villain than he was babyface. Because it's one of those things that needed to be. But I was more of a Warrior guy, man. I couldn't stand listening to Real American Clothes every fucking pay-per-view. It was just the same old shit all over again. And even as a young fan, I knew what the fuck they were doing. I just didn't really open up to the fact of what was really going on until I got into wrestling and I was a lot older. But the show started off with Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio. This match lasted very quick, man. This was actually, I would have loved to seen these two go at it more. This was a nice preview to what I think these two guys could do on SmackDown Live, man. Orton blocks a 619 and turns that into a draping DDT, his signature draping DDT through the middle rope. Orton with some offense. Rey blocks the RKO. Orton went for the RKO. Rey counters and rolls Orton up out of nowhere. Seriously, out of nowhere, in a surprise pin to advance in the semifinals, or to the semifinals. After the match, Orton immediately dropped Rey with the RKO. He was looking for the RKO, it was blocked, and then he hits the RKO out of frustration because he lost. Orton then launched Rey under the bottom rope. He sent him to the floor very hard. Orton follows and slams Rey face first onto the announce table, and that was it. That was it. Pretty much, pretty lame way to start the show, man. I would have booked it completely different. WWE had the right idea by potentially injuring Rey Mysterio, but they didn't go that route. They wanted him to compete a second time tonight with The Miz. But I would have booked it in a way which Orton wouldn't have lost. I don't like seeing Randy Orton get pinned, especially after everything that they've done with Orton up until this point. So I hope that this does not do anything for Randy Orton. And that's pretty much it, man. I would have booked it in a way where Orton remained strong, but I guess that's what the post-match attack was for. Still, I wouldn't have pinned Randy Orton. Rey Mysterio advances. He goes on to fight The Miz, who beat Jeff Hardy here. Miz used the ropes to his advantage. Hardy rolls The Miz up for a 2 count. Miz blocked a twist of fate at the end of this thing, hits a skull-crushing finale for the pin to advance. Very, very lackluster match, man. These guys had a better match on SmackDown Live a while back. I think it was a Money in the Bank qualifier match. That was a really, really good match between these two. This one was just a complete waste of everybody's time. Jeff Hardy got a nice payday out of it for fucking 5 minutes of work, so there you go. Miz advances with the skull-crushing finale. He goes on to fight Rey Mysterio in the semifinals. Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. This was another lame match. If I was actually expecting to have a competitive match here, with Lashley and Rollins. This could have been a nice coup for Bobby Lashley. And I said it on Twitter. If Bobby Lashley can't have a good match with Seth Rollins, then this guy's a fucking lost cause. This guy's a walking trash can. Bobby Trashley. And this guy was absolutely a waste on this show. 5 minutes, and Rollins wins with a stomp, a curb stomp. Rollins goes to the top. Lashley climbs up, cuts him off. Lashley goes for a superplex. Rollins resists, blocks that. Goes for a sunset flip powerbomb. Lashley blocked that. Rollins goes for the buckle bomb, and Lashley lands on his feet, and he hits Rollins in the spine. Lashley with the gut wrench, but Rollins gets out. Rollins then leapfrogs and rolls Lashley up, turns that into a stomp for the pin out of nowhere. Another one of those out-of-nowhere pins, and he advances to the semifinals. Bobby Lashley, a complete waste as always. If this guy was somehow missing on Monday Night Raw, nobody would know the fucking difference, man. Nobody would know the difference. Lio Rush was there with Bobby Lashley. He did not have an earpiece from what I seen. They gave him a live mic, but he didn't really do the live antics during the match, which I'm glad, because this is a tournament environment or tournament atmosphere. But we got Lio Rush in the corner of Bobby Lashley, and, I'm going to throw a little LeBar reality on you. The fact that Bobby Lashley was there in the corner, or Lio Rush was there in the corner of Bobby Lashley, it kind of shows you what Vince McMahon thinks of Lio Rush and how important he is to Bobby Lashley's act. So the fact that he was there only means good things for Lio Rush, but they gave him a microphone, he did his thing, he didn't do his thing during the match, which I'm glad about, and Rollins got the win with the stomp. So Rollins advances to the semifinals. Ziggler versus Kurt Angle. This was actually not that bad, but it's not something that I'm going to go back and rewatch. Angle should not be in the ring anymore. I don't think he can go one-on-one anymore. He was gassed. This one was kept short, but a nice feather in the cap for Dolph Ziggler here, man. Angle did Three Amigos. He did the rolling German suplexes times 3, or a version of the Three Amigos. That's not what Eddie Guerrero used to do. He used to be those snap suplexes, which I fucking love, man. I miss that shit. But Angle got the rolling German suplexes ×3 here. Angle went for the ankle lock. He drops the straps, and that was it. He goes for the ankle lock. Ziggler kicks him away. Ziggler with a famouser for a 2 count. Angle blocks another famouser. They go back and forth. Angle catches Ziggler in the ankle lock. It looked like Ziggler was going to tap. It was right in the middle of the ring. Ziggler is locked in here, so he's trying to wiggle his way out. Angle reverses it right back into the ankle lock again. Ziggler goes for the rope, but Angle drags him back. Ziggler rolls, but Angle turns the hold right back as McIntyre's looking on. He tried to jump onto the apron there, but he really didn't get involved here. Ziggler finally breaks the hold. Angle charges, hits the ring post, shoulder first. Ziggler moved out of the way. Ziggler with the zigzag, and he beats Kurt Angle to advance to the semifinals. So that was the first round, man. The first round of this tournament was very uneventful, very quick, rapid-fire wins. Not really something that sits well with me. I wanted it to be a little bit more epic, a little bit more time given to these matches, being that we haven't seen Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley yet, or Ziggler versus Angle. I guess they kept Ziggler versus Angle at the right time, because there's no way Angle would have went 15 minutes here. Absolutely no way. Rey versus Orton was cut very, very short. I would have loved to see more time with those two. Miz and Hardy, we've seen that already. So being that, that match was kept short, I didn't really mind. But I wanted more Rey and Orton, and I definitely wanted more Rollins and Lashley. I wanted to see what Lashley could do with someone who could legitimately fucking work. And these matches were just very rapid fire, So that really didn't sit well with me. So the first round was a complete waste in my eyes. Very, very fast. Everything was just rapid fire wins here to get to the semifinals. Smackdown Live Tag Team title match, New Day versus The Bar. This is a very typical standard tag team match here. Man, it was good. Not going to sit here and tell you it was the best tag team match that I've seen all year, but, these two teams work good together. Man. WWE doesn't really like to acknowledge as much as the New Day. They're sucking the New Day's dick every which way. Nobody really admires the fact that The Bar are 5-time tag team champions. They mention it here and there, but it's not like something that they embellish, And I still don't understand the pairing of the Big Show with The Bar. It makes no fucking sense to me. I'm still trying to figure. They got to give us a reason. Why is he there? Why is he dressed as a fucking goon? Can we get him in a leather jacket, and can we get some emblems on him or something to the point where he looks like one of the Bar? Like, why is he there? What is his issue with the Big Show? Did he ever express himself as to why he's with The Bar? I don't know. So it kind of frustrates me that we got no explanation on the Big Show's behalf. But the right team won here. The Bar won. They retained the tag team titles. Big E and Cesaro in the ring. Big E belly-to-belly suplexes. More back and forth with Big E, getting a lot of offense in on Cesaro. Sheamus ends up coming in, mounting Big E in the corner with right hands. Kofi tags in as Sheamus is on Big E's shoulders. Kofi leaps off the top with a double stomp. He almost drove his feet like Finn Balor, like coup de grace, into the back of Sheamus. And Big E slammed him down at the same time. Pretty inventive move there by the New Day. I don't think I've ever seen them do that. Kofi with a 2 count on Sheamus. Cesaro breaks up that. Kofi drops Cesaro with a Trouble in Paradise. Sends him to the floor. Big E tags in. Launches Kofi out to the ring to take out Cesaro. Big E drops his straps. Waits for the big ending on Sheamus. Big Show distracts from the apron. Big E sidesteps a bro kick. Covers Sheamus for a 2 count. Big E is looking for the big ending still. Show drops him with a knockout punch that looked very fucking weak from where I was sitting. Referee was distracted at this point. And Big E is pinned by Sheamus with a bro kick. Followed up by that big right hand by Big Show. So you got the big right hand, and then you got the bro kick for the pin. The Bar, the right team won here. They retain the tag team titles. I don't know where they go from here. This is it for the New Day. Now, I know there was the distraction there by Big Show, but this is it. No more tag team title matches for the rest of the year for the New Day. They got to move on to the Usos. You got to pay the Usos for their 2 wins over Bryan and AJ. They got 2 wins over the WWE champion and the number 1 contender at that time. So give the Usos a tag team title match with the Bar. So we may be looking at that going forward. That may actually be the match for Survivor Series, if you ask me, because the Bar has no tag team champions, unless Seth Rollins is doing double duty. at Survivor Series. There's no tag team champions on Monday Night Raw. They acknowledge Rollins as the tag team champion, but he doesn't have the straps with him. There's no Dean Ambrose. Shows you how important the WWE looks at the tag team titles, that Rollins isn't even coming out with it. We don't know who the bar is facing at Survivor Series, so that could be very intriguing going on into the Survivor Series in the next 2 weeks. The Miz versus Rey Mysterio. Now, I would have been okay with this, but we've seen this on fucking Smackdown Live, so the fact that they gave it to us on free TV and now I'm seeing it here really kind of made me uninterested. But The Miz and Rey Mysterio here, The Miz gets the win over Rey Mysterio. I didn't think they were going to pin Rey Mysterio this early in his return, but there you go. He wins with a skull-crushing finale, I think. He nailed him with the skull... Was it the skull-crushing finale? No, Rey moved. Rey goes for a splash, but Miz gets the knees up, rolls Rey up for the pin. Okay, so he attempted the skull-crushing finale. He got it, but he kicked out, did Rey. So Rey went for the 619, and he went to the top. Instead of going to the springboard splash that he usually does from the apron, he went up to the top rope. He went for the big splash, an even bigger splash off the top rope. But Miz got the knees up for the win, and he rolled Rey Mysterio up. And like I said, I'm surprised that Rey Mysterio got pinned in his return so early to the WWE. So the Miz advances to the finals here. I know I am not in the category of being the biggest Rey Mysterio fan, but man, does he look just fucking ordinary, even just returning for the last 3 weeks on WWE television. He don't look special at all. And I don't know if it's a WWE thing, I don't know if it's a booking thing, but, you know, they hype the return of these guys, and then they're here, and we don't fucking care. We don't care. Rey Mysterio has done nothing in WWE since returning that's making me care whatsoever. And like I said, I don't know if it's a WWE thing. This is why I fear for anybody coming into the WWE, whether it's being signed away from New Japan or Ring of Honor or coming up from NXT. Somehow, someway, WWE just ruins all their appeal. And I don't know what it is, man. I just don't know what it is. The Miz beats Mysterio here, surprising here, but he goes on to the finals to fight Dolph Ziggler, who beat Seth Rollins in a great match. Probably the best match of the whole fucking night, to be honest with you. Dolph Ziggler beats Seth Rollins here. Ziggler goes to the top rope. Rollins runs up, nails the superplex. Rollins holds the superplex for the Falcon Arrow, but Ziggler counters with a zigzag, man. Great transition there. So that was a 2 count. Rollins blocks another zigzag, drops Ziggler with a super kick. Rollins with a suicide dive to send Drew into the barricade. Ziggler runs up to the top, but Rollins pushes him to the mat. Ziggler then sells an ankle injury to distract the referee, while McIntyre pushed Rollins off the top rope. Ziggler took advantage of this little miscue here and nails a super kick to get the win over Seth Rollins, man. Very good match. Like I said, the best match of the entire pay-per-view. Best match of the tournament by far. But Dolph Ziggler went on to advance to the finals, and we got a little unpredictable finals here, man. I was expecting Rollins and Miz. So we got Ziggler and Miz. And WWE gave us a nice little unpredictable finals for the World Cup. So I was okay with this going into the final. Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles, man, for the WWE title. I feel like these two could have went another 10 to 12 minutes. I felt like this ending literally came out of nowhere. This was the replacement for Daniel Bryan, and that's exactly what WWE portrayed here. This was not supposed to be on the card, and WWE made you feel that way. This was nothing more than Samoa Joe being a bench replacement for Daniel Bryan, and that's exactly how they made Samoa Joe feel, man. They didn't hint at all that Samoa Joe was even going to come close to winning the title. They didn't play up that aspect. This was literally out of nowhere, ended in 10 minutes, and that's it. That's it. I really felt like this was one of the most anticlimactic endings to a match that I've seen all year. These two could have easily went another 10 minutes. I was enjoying what they were doing. It was physical. It was brutal. I love the intensity that these two guys have in the ring, but it ended out of nowhere. It ended literally out of nowhere. So AJ launches himself out with a forearm over the top rope. By the way, should I mention being on the outside? You could not pay me all the money in the world to take a suicide dive from Samoa Joe, man. The guy's suicide dive is like a fucking Mack truck barreling down on 95, fucking hitting you. Holy shit. He nailed a suicide dive on AJ Styles that leveled him to a point where the impact of it threw AJ Styles rib first into the announce table. Absolutely devastating. So AJ is launching himself out to the outside with a forearm. AJ brings it back into the ring, goes for a phenomenal slam, I guess, or some type of slam, but Joe catches him and nails him with a power slam for a 2 count. AJ charges at Joe, but Joe turns him inside out with a fucking lariat that leveled AJ to the point where he landed on the side of his fucking head coming down, man. He flipped over and landed on his head. So it was brutal. And even Corey Graves acknowledged it, man. Something that would make fucking Stan Hansen fucking smile from ear to ear. Joe with another pin. AJ kicks out. They're both down. They're both in the middle of the ring. AJ goes for a calf crusher out of the corner. Joe fights that off, gets to the bottom rope to break it. They go back and forth. Joe gets the coquina clutch locked in. AJ grabs the bad leg. They played up the fact that Samoa Joe has the bad leg, and he bends it back while in the coquina clutch. Joe gets to the ropes, breaks the submission, and he goes for another calf crusher, does AJ. But AJ drops him with a Pele kick, back and forth until AJ nails a phenomenal forearm out of nowhere for the pin, and that was it. Very, very anticlimactic. I would have loved if they surprised us with a Samoa Joe victory here at Crown Jewel, but AJ Styles is going to retain the WWE Championship. He's going on to fight Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series, and I can't really complain about that at all. But the fact that WWE is bragging about AJ Styles being number 9 on the all-time list for WWE champions, you know, it's pretty fucking pathetic that CM Punk is quote-unquote still in WWE's mentions, man. It's pretty fucking shitty how salty they are still over CM Punk. And the fact that AJ might hold the title to break CM Punk's record is pretty fucking sad. Is that the only reason why you're holding the title on AJ, so he beats Punk's record? Give me a fucking break, bro. You are fucking petty as fuck. Just end it. If the title is going to be better off on somebody else, then go through with it. Don't just keep the title on AJ to break Punk's record. That's fucking lame. You know? Anyway, AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. It's happening at the Survivor Series, so be it. So there's one positive to come out of that. I'd love for AJ Styles to get the win over Brock this time around. Brock Lesnar beat Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship. Before the match even started, Corbin gets into the ring and presents the Universal Championship, holds it high above the air, shows both guys what's on the line, and Baron Corbin, before he walks out of the ring, turns his back and hits Braun Strowman in the back of the head with the title. Pretty much offset everything that happened after this. 1 F5, 2 F5s, 3 F5s, Braun Strowman kicks out. Lesnar grabs Strowman for a third F5. He kicked out of that. Lesnar then lifts Strowman again, and he tosses him over the top rope. So Lesnar is fucking freaky strong, man. To lift this man up as many times as he did, man, holy shit. Strowman landed hard. He makes the count, makes it in by a 9 count. Strowman makes it back into the ring. He goes for another F5. Lesnar then is stunned that Strowman slides down his back. Strowman with a boot to the face. Strowman charges, but Lesnar scoops him up for a 5th F5. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. And Brock Lesnar is your new Universal Champion. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. You can LOL all you want. I'm hoping that WWE is just doing this as a temporary thing. Just for Survivor Series, for the match with AJ, to get the title on Drew, and Drew is the guy on Monday Night Raw. And for those people who are arguing with me that Drew McIntyre doesn't look like a world champion, please go fuck yourself, rightfully so. If you don't think that Drew McIntyre looks like a world champion, then you are fucking blind as a fucking bat, bro. Seriously, don't even fucking talk to me. Don't acknowledge me, don't tweet me, don't leave a comment. You are a fucking idiot. Simple as that. Drew has the look of a champion 10 times over. More so than anybody else in this fucking company right now. So, Drew McIntyre will be the Universal Champion, whether you like it or not. The guy's got the makings of a champion fucking written all over him. Simple as that. I'm hoping that's where WWE goes with the Universal Championship, but knowing them, I don't fucking know. For all we know, we could see another Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania. Or SummerSlam. I don't know. God, I hope not. Miz versus Dolph Ziggler, you guys know about that. I'm not even talking about it. Didn't even happen. Shane McMahon took his place. Shane McMahon won the World Cup. You guys know what I said earlier. I don't know how else you want me to explain it to you. I don't. What would you like me to say here? Everything that I said is pretty crystal clear. Shane McMahon is a joke as the World Cup finalist. Winner. God awful. Main event, which got the most time out of anything, of course. DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. This was the main event of the show. We talked about Shawn Michaels looking fantastic. But Triple H had to injure himself. And I don't know what happened there. I think he went over the top rope. And something happened there. So I don't know what happened. I have to go back and watch it again and see where it actually happened. But it looked like he may have tore something. He was fucked up to the point where Shawn Michaels had to take this entire match into his own hands. But Undertaker looked good. Fuck Kane. I don't really care about Kane. Undertaker and Shawn are the only ones I legitimately care about here. But other than that, man, you know, it was nice to see. The only reason why I watched this is because of Shawn Michaels. The only reason why I watched this was because of Shawn Michaels, man. Shawn looked fucking great. Hip ups, knife edge chops. He was doing his thing. He jumped off the top rope and delivered his signature elbow drop through the heart. Did a fucking moonsault on the outside on both Kane and The Undertaker. It looked fucking great. And I mentioned to you, I would not be opposed to seeing Shawn Michaels come back for some one-off matches if he looked this fucking good. You know, he looked great. I still can't get used to him with no hair. You know, he wore his signature attire. He had black straps like we used to see back in the day. He had the NXT logo on his straps because he's proud of his work doing, you know, his thing in NXT. It looked great. Undertaker looked great. He was running the ropes fucking at faster speeds than I ever recall seeing him in recent years. You know, did his snake eyes. He dropped Shawn with snake eyes. You know, brought me back to WrestleMania 25. He did the big leg. He did the big boot. Looked good. Everything looked good. The end here came where Shawn Michaels was about to be tombstoned through the announce table. Undertaker started clearing the fucking announce tables off. You know, they didn't do all the bells and whistles like they did at the Super Showdown in Australia. This was a pretty standard tag team match through most of the match until the ending. So, he was about to be tombstoned through the table, and Triple H actually went through the table instead as Kane chokeslammed him through the table. So that was that. And Triple H was fucked up at this point. So, all four guys are down on the outside. Triple H managed to crawl up to the apron. Finally, he gets the hot tag on Kane, or a hot tag from Shawn Michaels, and comes in on Kane. Triple H with a knee and his spine buster looked terrible because Triple H had to be hurt. Everything just looked so fucking half-assed, which I don't blame him at that point. Taker sits up. Triple H goes for the pedigree, but Taker backdrops him. Triple H blocks the chokeslam. Triple H blocks a tombstone and hits the pedigree on Taker, which looked terrible. Kane comes over. He gets knocked to the floor. Taker pulls Triple H into Hell's Gate, and that's in the middle of the ring. Triple H starts fading. Shawn comes in and blocks a chokeslam from Kane and also comes in. Shawn drops Kane with a sweet shin music. Can't even fucking speak anymore. Which causes Kane to fall on top of Hell's Gate and break it up. So that's what broke up the submission there on Triple H. All four guys are down in the ring. Taker and Kane sit up. They go for double tombstones. So Shawn Michaels was in the tombstone from Undertaker, and I think Kane was about to tombstone Triple H. So they're standing next to each other, and Shawn Michaels leans over and thumbs Kane in the eye, which breaks up that tombstone. He slides down the back of the Undertaker, and Shawn nails Taker with a super kick. And he nails Kane with a super kick, and that sends Kane into Triple H and into a pedigree, and that was it. DX wins. After the match, Shawn and Triple H stand up. Shawn Michaels looks like he was busted open through the nose, and they do Too Sweet. Fireworks go off in the arena and around the arena, and that was Crown Jewel. This pay-per-view was fucking bizarre. It had a great match with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, but it was short. Great match with the semifinals there with Ziggler and Seth Rollins. A shitty fucking tournament all around. We got a new Universal Champion in Brock Lesnar. Survivor Series is off and running. I'm just glad that this show is over, man. I really am glad this show is fucking over. Let's move past this stuff. Let's get on with the regularly scheduled pay-per-views that we got for the rest of the year. Survivor Series, TLC, and get on into the Royal Rumble, and we'll all be good to go. This show was a complete miss. If you guys didn't watch it for any political stance, you didn't miss anything. though I wasn't missing it for Shawn Michaels, and I'm glad I didn't because Shawn Michaels is my number one, and he looked fucking great, and it was great to see him still operating at a fairly high level for his age, man. So, like I said, again, I stress, I would not be opposed at all to seeing Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker in a ring one-on-one. Enough of Triple H, enough of Kane. Let's move on from these guys. We don't know how badly Triple H is hurt, but I'd love to see one-on-one Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at Survivor Series, and I hope we do get it in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. Thank you guys so very much, man. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Off the Script will resume tomorrow with part 1 to start your weekends off. Today was Crown Jewel, tomorrow Off the Script. So thank you guys so very much, man. If you are a new viewer to the channel, I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed my take on Crown Jewel. Follow me on Twitter at JD206. Hit that subscribe button. If you guys need some visuals there you go. At JD206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Give that bell the fucking middle finger. And if you guys want to support through Patreon, patreon.com/JD206. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript for your t-shirts, man. Code BSHOP20. 20% off. Get your new 100,000 subscriber commemorative t-shirt, man. Now available on barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. And like I said, hit that thumbs up, man. Let's try for 2,500 thumbs up here for Crown Jewel pay-per-view review. I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys on Off the Script tomorrow. Enjoy your Fridays. And like I said, I'll see you tomorrow for part 1 of Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.